إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد. Indeed, all praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him as He deserves to be praised. We ask for His aid and His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah Azza wa Jal from the evil of our own souls and from the evil of our wicked actions. Whomsoever Allah Azza wa Jal guides, then none can misguide. And whomsoever Allah Azza wa Jal misguides, then none can guide. I testify that none has the right to be worshipped in truth except Allah alone without any partners. And I testify that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His slave and His messenger to precede. So for this lesson, we will discuss a very important topic, and this is the belief of the people of the Sunnah and the Jama'ah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is above the creation, above His throne, based upon the verses of the Book of Allah and the ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Likewise, as established by ijma' consensus of the Muslims, the Salaf, the rightly guided Salaf, the companions, the tabi'un, their students, and the atba' tabi'een. And this belief is in accordance to our fitrah, the innate state that Allah Azza wa Jal created each and every one of us with. And this belief that Allah Azza wa Jal is above the throne, above the creation, is in accordance to sound logic. If we were to look in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the belief of the Muslim has to be based upon the Quran and the Sunnah, in accordance to the ayat and the authentic ahadith. If we start with the names of Allah Azza wa Jal, from the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Ali, the Most High. And His attribute of perfection is Al-Ulu, highness. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said in a verse that many of the Muslims recite daily, numerous times. In Ayatul Kursi, Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, Tabarak wa ta'ala, وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ, and He is the Most High, the Almighty. Likewise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, in a surah that we hear nearly every Jum'ah, سَبِّحِ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ الْأَعْلَى, glorify your Lord the Most High, Al-A'la. As Imām ibn Khuzaymah rahimahullah, he said, أَعْلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ وَفَوْقَ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. He is the Most High and He is above everything, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, ذلك بأن الله هو الحق وأن ما يدعون من دونه هو الباطل وأن الله هو العلي الكبير. That is because Allah is the truth, al-haq. And what they supplicate to besides Allah, meaning the mushrikun, is falsehood. And Allah is the Most High, the Most Great. Similarly, Habidakum Allah, from the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Tahir, Allah Azza wa Jalla said in the Quran, هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن وهو بكل شيء عليم. He is the first, the last, the most high, and the most near with his knowledge. And the best explanation for this ayah is the explanation of the Prophet ﷺ that we find in the authentic Sunnah. The Prophet ﷺ, he explained this by saying, أنت الأول ليس قبلك شيء. You are the first and nothing is before you. وأنت الآخر ليس بعدك شيء. And you are the last, nothing is after you. وأنت الظاهر ليس فوقك شيء. And you are the most high, nothing is above you. وأنت الباطن ليس دونك شيء. And you are the most near and nothing is nearer than you. And that closeness is with Allah's knowledge. And a proof of that, it is clear, Habidakum Allah, if we just look at the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah said in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ وَنَعْلَمُ مَا تُوَسْوِسُ بِهِ نَفْسُهُ وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ يتلقى المتلقيان عن اليمين وعن الشمال قعيد ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد. Allah Azza wa Jal said, we created man. And we know, look, we know what his own soul whispers to him. And we are closer to him than his jugular vein, with knowledge. وَنَعْلَمُ. It's clear. Likewise, if someone from Ahl al-Dalal was to try and bring us the verse, when Allah Azza wa Jal Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, he said, هو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش يعلم ما يلج في الأرض وما يخرج منها وما ينزل من السماء وما يعرج فيها. It is He, Allah, your Lord, who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. Then He rose above the throne. See, they ignore that part. Ahl al-Dalal. يَعْلَمُ مَا يَلِجُ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَمَا يَخْرُجُ مِنْهَا. Allah knows what goes into the earth and what comes from the earth and what comes from the sky and what ascends to the sky. وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ. And He is with you wherever you are. Meaning with this knowledge, the verse is clear. Because Allah Azza wa Jalla Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He said, يَعْلَمُ مَا يَلِجُ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَمَا يَخْرُجُ مِنْهَا. He knows what goes into the earth and He knows what comes from the earth. So when Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ. He is with you wherever you are with knowledge. وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرًا. Allah sees everything that you do. Nam. Allah hears everything that you say. Allah Azza wa Jalla sees everything that you do. And Allah has knowledge of all things. That's why Imām Ibn Abdul Barr, rahimahullah ta'ala, he conveyed a consensus of the companions and the tabi'un, the students of the companions, that Allah Azza wa Jalla فوق عرشه is above His throne. وَعِلْمُهُ فِي كُلِّ مَكَانٍ. And His knowledge is in every place. His knowledge encompasses everything. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, brothers and sisters, if we look in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala establishes for us that He is above the heavens. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, Tabaraka wa ta'ala, آمنتم من في السماء. Do you feel secure? آمنتم من في السماء أن يخسف بكم الأرض فإذا هي تمور. Do you feel secure and safe that He who is above the heavens will not cause the earth to sink with you and there will be earthquakes? Now again, the people of misguidance, they try and argue that this is referring to the angels. However, we have the statement of Abdullah ibn Abbas, radiallahu anhuma, the expert of explaining of Allah Azza wa Jal. That is why our understanding is in accordance to the understanding of the companions, based upon al-ayat al-muhkamat, the clear verses of the Quran, and based upon al-ahadith al-sahiha, the authentic sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, he said, أي أأمنتم عذاب من في السماء وهو الله عز وجل. Do you feel secure? Do you feel safe from the punishment, the torment of the one who is above the heavens, and this is Allah Azza wa Jal? Our understanding is based upon the understanding of the companions. As for these individuals, they do not have any predecessors from the Imams of the religion, and we challenge them. Give us one clear text, Nassun aw Zahir, or even that which the meaning is apparent, from any of al-Qurun al-Mufaddala, from any of the three praiseworthy generations that affirm your false belief, that Allah Azza wa Jal, Allahu mawjood bila makan, Allah exists without a place. Give us one of the Imam that made this statement like you make. Give us one verse from the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. They will never be able to provide us with a clear ayah for their false belief. Give us one authentic hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We challenge them. ما يستطيعون ما عندهم إلا الكلام. All they have is rhetoric and logic and philosophy that they inherited from the Greeks. Likewise, Allah Azza wa Jal Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He clearly informed us in the Quran that He is above the creation. For example, Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, وَهُوَ الْقَاهِرُ فَوْقَ عِبَادِهِ, and He is the compeller above His servants. وَهُوَ الْحَكِيمُ الْخَبِيرُ, and He is the all-wise, well-acquainted with all things. Likewise, Allah Azza wa Jal, He said concerning the angels, يَخَافُونَ رَبَّهُمْ مِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ وَيَفْعَلُونَ مَا يُؤْمَرُونَ. They fear their Lord who is above them. Clear. And they do what they have been commanded. Likewise, Allah Azza wa Jal Tabaraka wa Ta'ala informed us in the Quran that He raises things to Himself. Yes, because Allah Azza wa Jal is above the creation. Allahu fawqa arshihi. Allah is above His throne, above the creation. Ba'inu min khalqihi, distinct and separate from them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, as we find in the book of Allah Azza wa Jal, إِذْ قَالَ اللَّهُ يَا عِيسَى إِنِّي مُتَوَفِّيكَ وَرَافِعُكَ إِلَيَّ وَمُطَهِّرُكَ مِنَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. Al-ayah. And remember when Allah said, "Oh Jesus, Ya Isa, إِنِّي مُتَوَفِّيكَ وَرَافِعُكَ إِلَيَّ, I will take you and raise you to myself." It's clear, wadih. Anyone who hears these ayat, they understand the meaning. The young and the old, except for those who have been polluted with the rhetoric of the people of kalam and deviation. Likewise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, informing us that things ascend to Him. قال الله عز وجل تعرج الملائكة والروح إليه في يوم كان مقداره 50,000 سنة. The angels and the Ruh Jibril ascend to Allah in a day equivalent to 50,000 years. Ascend. The ma'na, the meaning is clear. Likewise, Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, إِلَيْهِ يَسْعَدُ الْكَلِمَ الطَّيِّبُ وَالْعَمَلُ الصَّالِحُ يَرْفَعُ. To Allah rises the good word, and the righteous deed raises it. Because Allah Azza wa Jalla is above His throne, above the creation, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, Allah Azza wa Jalla informed us that He sent down revelation. Many of our children, walillahi alhamd, have memorized the ayah fi juz'i amma. Many of us, we have memorized it. Walillahi alhamd, we understand it. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. And we sent down the Quran on the night of divine decree. Al-inzal min al-a'la. This is from high. The meaning is clear in the Arabic language. Likewise, Allah إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ قُرْآنًا عَرَبِيًّا لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. We sent down the Quran in the Arabic language so that you can understand it. Because Allah Azza wa Jal is above His throne, above the creation. And Allah Azza wa Jal is not restricted by space. As the people of misguidance, they try and argue and claim. And the reason why they try and argue that, and they try and ascribe that to the people of the Sunnah, because the people of the Sunnah, they say Allah is above the creation. Ba'inun min khalqihi, separate from the creation. Nothing restricts or confines Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah is the all-rich, the one deserving of all praise. Likewise, Hafidukum Allah, Allah Azza wa Jal informed us in 7 verses in the Quran that He rose above the throne. From them ayat is the saying of Allah Azza wa Jal, إِنَّ رَبَّكُمُ اللَّهُ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ فِي 6 أَيَّامٍ ثُمَّ اسْتَوَى عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. Indeed, your Lord Allah created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. Then He rose above the throne. And these individuals, Ahlul Bid'ati wa Dalal, they argue based upon the statement of an unknown poet, a Christian poet, that the meaning of istawa is istawla, to conquer. وَهَذَا مِنْ أَبْطَلِ الْأَبَاطِيلِ. Because if we were to say that it means conquer, who was in control of it prior to that? وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Not just that, our understanding, it comes from the Imām of the Salaf. Al-Imām al-Bukhari rahimahullah ta'ala, walhamdulillah wa salafuna. He is our Salaf. And as for their Salaf, it is Jahm ibn Safwan, the father of the Jahmiyyah. Likewise the Mu'tazila, and those who walked upon their path. Al-Imam al-Bukhari rahimahullah, he quotes in his Sahih the explanation of Mujahid and Abu al-Aliyah for the word istawa. He said it means ala wartafa, to rise. So when Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said Ar-Rahmanu ala al-Arsh istawa, the most merciful rose above the throne, the meaning is clear. And Imam al-Bukhari rahimahullah was from those Imams that affirmed that Allah Azza wa Jalla is above the creation. And Mujahid, who said that the meaning of istawa is ala wartafa, is from the students of Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma. These are our predecessors. Barakallahu feekum. And there are many ayat, وَذَكَرْنَا بَعْضَهَا, we only mention some of them. Another proof, the previous prophets used to teach their nations that Allah Azza wa Ta'ala was above the creation. And a proof of that in the book of Allah Azza wa Jal is when Allah Azza wa Jal tells us about the statement of Fir'aun, فَاجْعَلْ لِي صَرْحًا لَعَلِّ أَطَّلِعُ إِلَى إِلَهِ مُوسَى وَإِنِّي لَأَظُنُّهُ مِنَ الْكَاذِبِينَ. Fir'aun said, build for me a lofty tower so that I may look for the God of Moses, and I believe that he is a liar. Let us return back to the understanding of the Imam Shaykh al-Mufassirin, Ibn Jarir al-Tabari rahimahullah. For example, how does he explain this ayah? He said, rahmatullahi alayh, فيما يقول من أن له معبودا يعبده في السماء. Fir'aun, he said, I believe that Musa is a liar when he claims that he has a God who he worships that is above the heavens. So the previous prophets and messengers used to teach their nations that Allah Azza wa Jal Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is above the creation. Look, brothers and sisters, at the verses that we've just mentioned today. How Allah Azza wa Jal established in numerous ways and various angles that He is above the creation subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that what I mentioned here is only a limited amount of verses pertaining to this topic. But there are many more for the one who reads the book of Allah Azza wa Jal and reflects upon it. If we were to look at the ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we find that now in the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, it is affirmed that Allah Azza wa Jal is above the creation. The well-known hadith, the hadith of the Jariyah fi Sahih Muslim, and other than Sahih Muslim, when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sa'al al-Jariyah, he asked the slave girl, Ain Allah? Where is Allah? She said, Fi sama, above the heavens. He said, Man ana? Who am I? She said, Anta Rasulullah. You are the messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, A'tiqha fa innaha mu'mina. Free her, for verily she is a believer. Shahida bi annaha mu'mina, ay aqidatuha sahihah salima. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam testified that she was a believer. Her creed, her belief was sound in accordance to the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It should be of no surprise that the people of misguidance, الَّذِينَ يُحَرِّفُونَ الْكَلِمَ مَوَاضِعِ, those who distort the words from their true and correct context, what do they do when it comes to this hadith that is in Sahih Muslim? They say the hadith is da'if, based upon their desires. Why? Because it opposes their hawa, the philosophy that they've already developed within their minds. And alhamdulillah, fawahahum Allah. Allah Azza wa Jal exposed these individuals. لماذا? Why? ما عندهم إمام من أئمة الحديث. They don't have any scholar, no precedence for weakening this hadith from any of the scholars of hadith. The only people that they have are individuals who are known to have drowned in misguidance, like Al-Kawthari and other than him. And what an evil Salaf you have. As for us, we have Imam Muslim. As for us, we have Al-Bukhari. As for us, we have Shafi'i. And other than them, rahimahum Allah ta'ala. Ni'ma Salaf ha'ula. What an excellent predecessor we have. Likewise, if we were to look at another hadith, هو متفق عليه البخاري ومسلم. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, ألا تأمنوني وأنا أمين من في السماء يأتيني خبر السماء صباحا ومساء. He said, do you not trust me? And I am trusted by him who is above the heavens, and the revelation of the heavens comes to me day and night. The Prophet ﷺ affirming in this hadith that Allah Azza wa Jalla is above the heavens. How can now anyone come and say Allah Azza wa Jalla is in every place? وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ يُخَالِفَ الْآيَاتَ الْكَثِيرَةِ, opposing many verses of the Quran. وَيُخَالِفَ الْأَحَادِيثَ الصَّحِيحَةِ, and opposing authentic ahadith based upon hawa, based upon mutashabihat, vague and unclear evidences. And if they would have returned the unclear evidences back to the muhkamat, the clear verses, the meaning would be clear that Allah Azza wa Jalla Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is above the creation, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, the hadith, another proof in Sunan al-Tirmidhi, wa hadith sahih. It is an authentic hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, الراحمون يرحمهم الرحمن ارحموا من في الأرض يرحمكم من في السماء. Those who show mercy to others, the most merciful will bestow mercy upon them. Have mercy upon those who are in the earth, who live upon the earth. And the one who is above the heavens will have mercy upon you. May Allah Azza wa Jalla bless us to be merciful. We are all in need of the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Likewise, we could continue, brothers and sisters, mentioning a hadith from the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and no doubt this meaning tawaturan ma'nawiyyah. There are so many ahadith affirming that Allah Azza wa Jalla is above the creation. No doubt in terms of the meaning, it reaches the level of mutawatir. It is impossible for that many narrators to come together and make up something with this meaning. Likewise, Habidukum Allah, our understanding is the understanding of the companions. Naam, ajma as-sahaba, all of the companions agree that Allah Azza wa Jalla fawqa arshihi,
is above his throne, above the creation. Let us suffice with one authentic narration that comes in the Sahih of Imam al-Bukhari, rahimahullah. Zainab bint Jahsh, she used to boast to the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, saying, Inna Allah ankahani fi sama. Verily, Allah married me to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Verily, Allah azza wa jal married me to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam from above the heavens. وفي رواية صحيحة, and in an authentic narration version of this, وزوجني الله من فوق سبع سماوات. Allah married me to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam from above the 7 heavens. That's the companions. The matter was clear to them. There was no disagreement amongst them. Why? Because they understood the meaning of the book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most knowledgeable as it relates to himself. And Allah azza wa jalla tabaraka wa ta'ala is the most eloquent and clear in speech. And he affirmed for himself that he is above the creation. He affirmed for himself that he is above the heavens. May Allah azza wa jalla guide us all to that which is correct. Likewise, ijma', consensus of this ummah, unanimous agreement from the people of the Sunnah. Yes, Imām al-Awza'i rahimahullah. Does anyone know his name? Does anyone know the name of Imām al-Awza'i rahimahullah? Fadal. Abdurrahman ibn Amr. When did he die? Anyone? Find out for me, inshallah. When did Awza'i rahimahullah, one of the Imams of the Salaf, Abdurrahman ibn Amr rahimahullah, he said, conveying a consensus, he said, كُنَّ وَالتَّابِعُونَ مُتَوَافِرُونَ نَقُولُ. We would say, and the students of the companions, there were many of them among us. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ فَوْقَ عَرْشِهِ وَنُؤْمِنُ بِمَا وَرَدَتْ بِهِ السُّنَّةُ مِنَ الصِّفَاتِ. We used to say, and the students of the companions were many among us, that Allah Azza wa Jal is above his throne, and we believe in the Sunnah that affirm the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the authentic Sunnah. We'll give one more example of ijma', scholars quoting consensus on this matter. And numerous scholars have quoted a consensus of the people of Sunnah on this affair in opposition to the Jahmiyyah and the Mu'tazila, who are from al-Firq al-Dalla, the misguided sects. Abu Hatim al-Razi and Abu Zur'a al-Razi. Abu Zur'a al-Razi, who died in 264 Hijri. Abu Hatim, he died in 267 Hijri. And in their treatise known as Aqidat al-Raziyayn, and at the beginning they mentioned that this is the belief that they found all of the scholars that they met during their journey to seek knowledge holding. This is the belief of all of the scholars of the Sunnah that they met. And from that belief was وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ عَلَى عَرْشِهِ بَائِنٌ مِّنْ خَلْقِهِ, that Allah is above his throne and he is separate and distinct from the creation, because Allah is the Khaliq, he's the creator. كما وصف نفسه في كتابه وعلى لسان رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم بلا كيف. Like Allah described himself in the Quran and upon the tongue of his messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam without stating how. Yes, we affirm what Allah affirmed for himself in the verses of the Quran. We affirm for Allah what the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam affirmed for Allah in the authentic Sunnah. Min ghayri tahrif, without distortion, غير تعطيل, without denial, من غير تكييف, without stating how, ومن غير تمثيل, and without resembling Allah to the creation, because as Allah said, ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. There is nothing like Allah. He is the all-seeing, all-hearing. Likewise, brothers and sisters, the belief of the people of the Sunnah that Allah Azza wa Jal is above the creation is in accordance to the fitrah, the innate state that Allah created every one of us upon. And a proof of that, وَجَرِّبْ فِي نَفْسِكَ. And this proof was mentioned to an individual previously who had fallen into ilm al-kalam, some aspects of rhetoric. That when you make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal, your heart turns towards where? Towards the heavens. You raise your hands towards the sky. That is a proof from the fitrah. When that was mentioned to him, he said, Hayyarani. Now he's confused me. Yes, I cannot argue. I find this within myself. So we have Quran, Sunnah, Ijma', consensus, and even the fitrah, the innate state that Allah created every one of us with. However, the condition of the people of rhetoric and bid'ah, it was corrupted and polluted due to the individuals they sat with and mixed with from the people of innovation and misguidance. And that is why the Imām, they said, no one who entered into the realms of rhetoric and philosophy was ever successful. Was ever successful. Because it's going to lead you to have doubt. As for the people of the Sunnah, you see that they are firm like mountains. Why? Because Aqidatum, their belief, is based upon the Quran, the Sunnah, with understanding of the rightly guided Salaf. That cannot be shaken. As for opinions, they change. تتغير وتتبدل. Likewise, Ikhwan, this is in accordance to sound logic, because, as we mentioned at the beginning, from the names of Allah Azza wa Jalla is Al-Ali, the Most High. From the perfect attributes of Allah is Al-Ulu, highness. Highness is an attribute of perfection. We all agree upon that? Now, however, when they say Allah is in every place, in every place entails lowliness. Lowliness is a characteristic of deficiency. We all agree upon that? Also, when they say Allah mawjood bila makan, Allah exists without any place, that is a characteristic of something that doesn't exist. That is why, look at this, Ikhwan. These individuals that deny the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal, شبه الله بخلقه أولا. Firstly, they resemble Allah to the creation in their minds. When they read those ayat and they read the ahadith, what comes to their minds is that which is like the creation, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. And that is a fundamental error, because there is nothing like Allah. What do they do then? يَفِرُّونَ إِلَى التَّعْطِيلِ. So they flee and they deny the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal. But now the problem is وَقَعُوا فِي التَّشْبِيهِ أَخِيرًا. Now again they fall into tashbih, because they resemble Allah to something that does not exist. Because something that has no attributes resembles what? Something that doesn't exist. Is that clear to everyone? If something exists, it must have attributes. However, the Mu'attila, they say, they deny the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal. That is why the ulama, they said, رحمهم الله المشبه يعبد صنما والمعطل يعبد عدما. The one who resembles Allah to the creation, he worships an idol. The one who resembles Allah to the creation, the one who says, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, Allah's seeing is like our seeing, that's disbelief. Or the hand of Allah is like our hand, that is kufr, disbelief. But the Sunni Salafi, he says what? I affirm that Allah is a Sami', the all-seeing, and from His attributes is Sama', hearing. Allah Azza wa Jalla from His names is what? As-Sami', the all-hearing. And the attribute is hearing, Sama'. We affirm that from the names of Allah is Al-Basir, the all-seeing. From the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jalla is that His sight. And we say that these attributes of Allah are befitting His majesty, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the ulama, they say, rahimahumullah, they say that al-mushabbihu ya'budu sanama, the one who resembles Allah to the creation, he worships an idol. Wal-mu'attilu, the one who denies Allah's attributes, he worships something that does not exist. That is why, habidukum Allah, the belief of the people of the Sunnah is wadiha. فَإِنَّ عَلَى الْحَقِّ نُورًا, upon the truth there is light. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, subhanahu wa ta'ala, سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Glorified is Allah, the Lord of might and power. He is exalted and free from what the mushrikun and the people of deviation say about Him, and peace to the messengers. Peace be upon the messengers. لِسَلَامَةِ مَا قَالُوا, because what the messengers came with, it was correct in terms of our belief about Allah Tabaraka wa ta'ala. And all praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ikhwan, that is why Usi nafsi wa ikhwani, I advise myself and my brothers and my sisters that we busy ourselves learning the correct belief, learning about the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that we defend it and we stand firm upon it. Because if we learn the fundamentals of Islam, our allegiance will be for Allah and our disassociation will be for Allah. But if your attachment is to personalities, it will be based upon who you like and who you do not like. That is why it is not surprising that we find the mukhadila. You have individuals now, khadalu ahl sunnah hatta fi hadha al-bab, from the YouTube cloud chasers, who have forsaken the people of the Sunnah even in this issue. Instead of speaking the truth and affirming what Allah affirmed for Himself and defending the religion of Islam, they choose to ignore the people of falsehood and deviation and attack the people of the Sunnah, وَيَتَقَوَّلُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ, and they spread lies and misinformation concerning them, while they're silent about those who say Allah exists without any place, or Allah Azza wa Jalla is in every place, or other than that, مِنَ الْمَقَالَاتِ الْفَاسِدَةِ. But we're not surprised, because these very individuals, when their colleagues and their allies say Tawheed is not going to rectify our society, or when they attack the books of Tawheed or the scholars of Tawheed, we do not hear a word. لا نسمع منهم كلمة ولا يحركون ساكنة. They do not move a finger. لماذا? Because their allegiance is around personalities and around their own selves. You hear some of them saying, it doesn't matter whether you are from the attributes of Allah or whether you don't are from the attributes of Allah. You know, that doesn't matter to me. I have my own program. However, if somebody says one word about them, قَامَتِ الدُّنْيَا وَلَمْ تَقْرِبْ, you'll see 1,000 videos on YouTube. But when it comes to Allah, when it comes to the right of Allah, when it comes to the attributes of Allah, that's not important. It's about uniting. It wasn't about uniting, because when it came to you, there is no end to the amount of insults and fabrications. That is why, brothers and sisters, let us attach ourselves to the truth. Even it's ajib that some of those who claim to be upon the Sunnah, مَا نَسْمَعْ مِنْهُمْ, we don't hear anything from them in defense of these fundamentals. All it is about fulan and fulan, defending fulan and fulan. دعنا من هذا, defend the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. أشغل الناس بالعلم النافع والعمل الصالح. Anyone can delve into he said, she said, and put a video on Periscope or YouTube. A baby can do it. Just put the camera in front of the baby. Someone may say the baby can't speak. That's better than what we hear on some of those videos. Gaga, gaga, at least alhamdulillah no one's harmed. Ikhwan, the responsibility of the people of the Sunnah is great. The mas'uliyah is azim. The responsibility upon each and every one of us is great. In our communities, in our societies, how many people do not know what we've mentioned today? Ahad al-ikhwa min al-afadil, one of the virtuous brothers here from this city, he told me there's a school in this city, an Islamic school. They teach the children in the Islamic school that Allah Azza wa Jalla is in every place. أخبرني قبل أيام, he informed me a few days ago. وجزاه الله خيرا, شجعني على تأليف كتاب, and he encouraged me to write and compile a book affirming that Allah Azza wa Jalla is above the creation and addressing some of the doubts. And no doubt, alhamdulillah, the Imām have already preceded us, like Ibn Qudama, like Al-Dhahabi, and before them Al-Darimi. Many of the Imām have written the actual books about this topic, and some of them have addressed this topic in other works. However, alhamdulillah, I think it would be beneficial that we have something that is munasib, concise and simple for the English reader, and likewise for the beginner to understand this important matter. I've mentioned to you before, Ikhwan, if you look at the da'wah of the Imam, the Imams of the Sunnah, when we study with Shaykh Mukbir rahimahullah in Yemen, and the students would go out, if for example you used to ride and you got on a bus, you would find the students of the Shaykh, many times they would have conversations with the common people on the bus, and it would be Islamic. They would ask questions. Ain Allah, where is Allah? وَهَذَا السُّؤَالُ لَا غُبَارَ عَلَيْهِ. There's nothing wrong with that question. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ asked the Savior that question. وَإِذَا أَنْكَرْتَ هَذَا السُّؤَالُ أَنْكَرْتَ عَلَى النَّبِي صلى الله عليه وسلم. And if you object to that question, you object to what the Prophet ﷺ said. And yes, some people, they would not know, but it was an opportunity to give them dawah. No, Allah Azza wa Jalla is above the creation. Allah said, Ar-Rahmanu ala al-Arsh istawa. The most merciful, He rose above the throne. Giving dawah to Sunnah. Giving dawah to Aqidah Sahiha. Calling the people to Tawheed. And alhamdulillah, the Sunnah spreads. So the responsibility upon each and every one of us, brothers and sisters, is great. When you go back to your communities, when you go back to your masajid, some of you, when you go back to your countries, now acquire beneficial knowledge of Aqidah Sahih, the correct belief, learn it, and when you have the ability, you convey it and you teach it. Learn about the Sunnah, implement it, convey it to the people and teach it. And alhamdulillah, be upon clarity. You have no choice except to be upon clarity. Because look, when alhamdulillah you clarify these affairs, the people of misguidance, some of them, they will make takfir upon you. Like the Ahbash, that deviant sect, they accuse the people of the Sunnah of being Jews, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. يكفرون أهل السنة. Alhamdulillah, قد كفروا من هو أفضل منا. They declare those who are better than us to be kuffar, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. وَالْمَرْءُ مَعَ مَنْ أَحَبَّ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. And a person is with those who he loves on the day of judgment. So if you make takfir of Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, if you make takfir of Ibn Taymiyyah, or takfir of any of the Imam al-Islam, alhamdulillah, who are we? Who are we? May Allah grant us our firmness. May Allah protect the people of the Sunnah in every place. وَجَزَاكُمُ khairan. Any questions they want about anything that I've said, or any tasweeb? If, for example, somebody has a ملاحظة فما قلت من الحق فمن الله وإذا أخطأت في شيء فمن نفسي ومن الشيطان. $157 Hijri, أحسن. نعم.
The word fi, it can be above or in.
Yes, it means in this context above. فَسِيحُ فِي الْأَرْضِ, travel upon the earth. It doesn't mean, for example, the verse, أَأَمِنْتُم مَّن فِي السَّمَاءِ. Do you feel safe from he who is above the heavens? Fi here, it means above. And a proof of that as well is the hadith we mentioned. إِرْحَمُوا مَن فِي الْأَرْضِ. Be merciful to those who are on the earth. It doesn't mean be merciful to those who are in the earth, the worms, or the dead, the deceased and decomposed bodies. Those who are on the earth, above the earth, and the one who is above the heavens will have mercy upon you. That is why we say, Ikhwan, we read the statement of Abu Hatim al-Razi and Abu Zur'a al-Razi, that Ahlul Sunnah, they believe that Allah is fawqa arshi, above his throne, ba'inun min khalqihi, distinct and separate from the creation. Now, because the people of innovation, they try and ascribe things to the people of the Sunnah, and the people of the Sunnah never say those things. Because ma indum illa talbis, all they have is deception. That is why, alhamdulillah, even when you respond to someone that is an adversary, someone that may be an opponent, you cannot ascribe to them what they never said. Yes, the Ahbash, they say Allah mawjood bila makan. That's written in their books and on their websites. Allah exists without place, which is batil. Against the Quran, against the Sunnah, and against Ijma'. And that was inherited, as we said, we challenged them, give us one ayah. Where did Allah say that? Ma indum shay. Where did the Prophet ﷺ say that? Ma indum shay. Where did any of the Sahaba say that? Ma indum shay. Give us a nas that is clear, or that which is apparent, the meaning from any of the Imām of Islam. They don't have anything. We don't want a statement of someone who came hundreds of years later, after the praiseworthy generations, who has been corrupted and influenced by the people of innovation like the Mu'tazila and the Shaykh and other than them, because they'll throw around names. Qadi Fulan said such and such. This one said such and such. They came later on, and they were influenced sadly by some of the works and the ideas of the Mu'tazila and the Asha'ira and other than them. All they have is makthubat wa mawdu'at. They have a narration that's fabricated upon Ali. Ma indum shay. So one of the lies that they say, you say, meaning Ahl Sunnah, Allah, he sits on his throne. Who says that? That's a kadhib. Who said that? Rather we say Allah Azza wa Jalla is above the throne. Allah Azza wa Jalla is the self-sufficient. He does not need anything, subhanahu wa ta'ala. But they have to lie to confuse the common people. Wallah alhamd, the people of Sunnah, ma yahtajun al-kadhib. They don't need to lie. Because when the haqq is with you, ma tahtaj al-kadhib. Al-kadhibu bida'atu kulli muflis. Lying is the ammunition of every bankrupt accuse, lie, and ascribe to you what you didn't say. Barakallahu feekum now. Any other questions, Ikhwan? The one about Musa? With Naam. When Allah Azza wa Jalla Tabaraka wa Ta'ala informed us of the statement of Fir'aun. Build for me a lofty tower. لَعَلِّ أَطَّلِعُ إِلَى إِلَهِ Musa. So that I can look for the God of Moses. And verily I believe that he is from the liars. And the Tabari rahimahullah ta'ala explained that, saying that Fir'aun accused Musa of lying. When Musa clarified that the one whom he worshipped, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, was above the heavens. And other ai said that, or something similar as well. Now,
You said they say Allah sits over the throne, but Allah is over the throne. He does not sit
they say, Ahl al-Dalal, they try and ascribe to the people of the Sunnah. They say, those, Alhamdulillah, our Aqidah, as we said, we stated, we don't hide it. Allah Azza wa Jalla, فوق عرشه, بائن من خلقه, كما وصف نفسه في كتابه, وعلى لسان رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم بلا كيف. Allah is above his throne, above the creation. He is separate and distinct from the creation, as he described himself in his book, and upon the tongue of the Prophet ﷺ, without stating how. However, the people of innovation, they say, you say, meaning Ahl Sunnah, Allah sits on his throne. Who said that? Man qala hada. So they add to that, so you say, meaning Ahl Sunnah, Allah Azza wa Jalla, he needs the throne. وهذا كذب على أهل السنة. Ahl Sunnah say Allah is above the throne, and he is self-sufficient and he needs nothing. But all of the creation are in need of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Is that clear? Naam, jazakumullah khair. Like Imam Malik, the brother asked a question. Imam Malik rahimahullah, again, alhamdulillah, look, the understanding of the Imam when they asked, when the individual who had been affected, again by Ilm al-Kalam, he asked Imam Malik about how did Allah write, كيف استوى. Imam Malik, he became upset. And in one narration he started to sweat, because when we talk about Allah Azza wa Jal, his names and his attributes, this is a serious subject. It has to be based upon text with a relation, not based upon kalam and philosophy. That is why tariqat al-Salaf a'lam wa ahkam, the way of the Salaf, it comprises of more knowledge and it is the safest way. Imam Malik, he raised his head. He said, al-istiwa ma'lum. The meaning of al-istiwa is known, meaning in the Arabic language. And as we mentioned, Mujahid said what? Al-istiwa, istawa, it means ala wartafa, to rise. Wal-kayf majhul, how is unknown. We don't know how. Laysa kamithlihi shay. There is nothing like Allah. We do not know how. Wal-iman bihi wajib. Believing in it is wajib, it's an obligation. We affirm the meaning of it. He said, وَالسُّؤَالَ عَنْهُ بِدْعَةٌ. Asking about this is a bid'ah and an innovation. He said, I do not see except that you are an innovator. SubhanAllah, look at that, just from that question. Look at that. I do not see except that you are an innovator. And then he commanded the people to throw him out of the circle. Imagine we done that in this day. There are 50 videos on Instagram. We leave the masjid, They'd be like, you seen these videos? You'd have 1,000 WhatsApp messages. Oh, he threw him out the masjid. What do you say about Imam Malik? ماذا تقول في إمام مالك? When the individual came to Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, Amir al-Mu'mineen, and he was asking about the mutashabihat, and this individual is known to be a person to spread doubts. Umar radiallahu anhu, he never just commanded that the person be removed, he beat him with the date palm branches. Until the individual, he said, Hasbuk, Hasbuk. Oh, that's enough, O Amir al-Mu'mineen. What was in my head? It's left me. Why? Because innovation and misguidance in these affairs is dangerous. It's dangerous. Yes, we want unity. Wallahi alladhi la ilaha illahu. By Allah, we want unity. However, unity, it has to be the way that Allah Azza wa Jal commanded us to unite, which is upon the Quran and the Sunnah with understanding of the companions. Because if someone now comes and says, yes, it doesn't matter if you make tawaf around the grave. It doesn't matter if you say Allah is in every place. It doesn't matter if you deny the attributes of Allah. It doesn't matter, wal-iyadu billah, if you attack the companions. We need to unite. Who gave you permission for such a statement? أَمْ لَهُمْ شُرَكَاء شَرَعُوا لَهُم مِّنَ الدِّينِ مَا لَمْ يَأْذَن بِهِ اللَّهُ. Do they have partners who legislated for them aspects of the religion that Allah did not allow them? Allah commanded you with what you must believe. Allah clarified what is correct and incorrect. Who are we to say, I'll overlook this and I'll overlook that from the fundamentals of the religion? Man nahnu, who are we? But like I said, Ikhwan, this claim of unity with some people, it's only a statement of the tongue. Because they want unity only with people that are with their program. If you disagree with their program, well, it can't be haq, even if you have justification and you have valid reasoning. Watch how they talk about you, whether you're a scholar or anyone else. Look what they say about the scholars of the Sunnah, ulama as-salatin, the scholars for dollars, because they're not with their program. What happened to unity? What happened to unity? What happened to speaking good about your brothers? What happened to not revealing all of this in front of the non-Muslims? And the masalih and the mafasid and other than that. Goes out the window because it's not in accordance to their agenda. Barakallahu feekum. قد سألت يعني. Anyone else, Ikhwan? The brother asked a good question. What are the various books that we can read on this topic? Our brother, Al-Akh al-Fadi, Wallahu hasibu wa la nuzakki ala Allah ahadan, nahsabu kadalik. Amjad Rafiq has many websites clarifying these issues. He has, and if I make a mistake with regards to the website address, it's Sawibuni. AboveTheThrone.com, Ash'ari.com, with an S, and other than that, clarifying these issues in detail. And Ikhwan, those individuals who talk about that brother, again, where is al-adl wal-insaf? Fairness and justice. Because Allah commands us, Inna Allah ya'muru bil adl wal ihsan. Allah commands you with justice and benevolence. To be just even when you're talking about your enemy. I'dilu huwa aqrabu lit-taqwa. Be just, it is closer to piety. Look at the effort that these brothers put forth in terms of clarifying the belief of the people of the Sunnah, refuting the doubts of the people of innovation, whether they're the Rafida, Jahmiya, or other than them, the Sufiya. Look at the books that he has. And then people, they come out along today, and maybe Amjad is old enough to be some of their father, Wallahu a'lam. And they say this person is kada, and he's ignorant, and he doesn't know anything. That's just. Where's your works? Show us, heart. The proof is in the pudding. بِثِمَارٍ تَعْرِفُونَهُمْ. You know them from their fruits. Where's yours? Where's your defense of Tawheed and the Sunnah? Heart. I'm not saying we do not claim infallibility for anyone. لكن الحق يقال. I remember إخوان, in 96, our brother Amjad Hafidhahullah, he would translate the words of the scholars. I used to call him when he was in Essex, before I went to Yemen, because I went to Shaykh Muqbil in 97, between 97 and 2001. And I would ask him questions. At that time in 96, I didn't know Arabic. And the brother, Jazahullah Khairan, he benefited me, walillah alhamd, immensely. Because he knew Arabic, he was acquainted with the books of Aqidah, translated many of the classical works, even at that time. Look at his khidmah. So if you want to criticize anyone, be just. Ain al-adl. But if he gets a person a few views on Twitter, or a few views on YouTube, some people, they go beyond bounds. And that type of person will regret Yawm al-Qiyamah. Because those people who are, liking whatever you are saying, and those comments if they are unjust, it's going to be nadama, regret for you Yawm al-Qiyamah. May Allah protect each and every one of us. Now, as for books, if you know Arabic, Al-Ulu of Imam al-Dhahabi, Kitab Qayyim, a beneficial book. Likewise, Ijtima' al-Juyus al-Islamiyya of Ibn al-Qayyim, rahimahullah. The works of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. He discusses the issue in al-Wasitiyya briefly. Alhamdulillah, when we studied Wasitiyya here, and the Madarasna al-Wasitiyya, alhamdulillah, we discussed this matter in detail. And then yati wahid, some person comes with iyadu billah again from those muhaddila, and they ascribe to us that we say we ascribe nothingness to Allah. What does that even mean? Hadak Allah. Now, any other questions, Imām, before we close? تفضل أنت السؤال الأخير. Mutashabihat, the verses that are unclear. Those verses that are unclear, however, they become clear when we return them to the muhkamat. Who can give me a proof of that from the Quran? You've answered, I think, many questions. Tfaddal. Somebody else? Somebody from the back. That there are verses that are muhkamat, clear, and there are verses that are not as clear. And the correct position with those verses that may not be clear. What is our motive? Alak Shaban, you said? Fadal, Shabana. Fadal. هو الذي أنزل عليك الكتاب. It is He, Allah, who revealed to you and sent down to you the book. منه آيات محكمات. From those verses of the Quran, the book, there are clear verses. من البداية. هن أم الكتاب, and they are the mother of the book, meaning the clear verses. وأخر متشابهات, and there are other verses that are not as clear. فأما الذين في قلوبهم زيغ فيتبعون ما تشابه منه ابتغاء الفتنة وابتغاء تأويله. As for those that have a disease in their heart, they follow after the unclear verses, because there's a disease in the heart. May Allah purify our hearts. Because they desire fitna, tribulation. What's it? وما يعلم تأويله إلا الله والراسخون في العلم, those who are firmly grounded in knowledge, they say يقولون آمنا به. They say we believe in it. كل من عند ربنا. All of it comes from Allah. كل من عند ربنا. وما يذكر إلا أولو الألباب. So, Ikhwan, when it comes to the unclear verses, we return them back to the clear verses. Like, for example, the saying of Allah. I'll give an example. وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ. And He is with you wherever you are. We return that back to the clear verses. Actually, if we look at the verse, the context is clear. It's referring to knowledge. Allah, His knowledge is in every place. As for Allah Azza wa Jal, Himself, He affirmed that He is above the heavens, above the creation. Likewise, the other ayah that we mentioned. When Allah Azza wa Jal, He said that He is closer to you than your jugular vein. He mentioned earlier in the same verse, نَعْلَمُ مَا تُوَسْوِسُ بِهِ نَفْسُهُ. We know what his own soul whispers to him, meaning the human. We know with Allah's knowledge. He is closer to you with His knowledge than your jugular vein. So, for example, if this verse here is unclear to someone, you return it back to the clear verse. The clear ayat. Is that clear, Ikhwan? And that is why As-Sunnah, they can never be overcome. Even if you don't know how to respond to a specific doubt, you know how to respond generally to doubts. You know how to respond generally to doubts. And nobody can pull the wool over your eyes. Like, for example, Alhamdulillah, you know the asl is what? At-Tawheed. Tawheed is what? Ibadatullah wahdahu la sharika lah. To worship Allah alone without any partners. That's clear, right? وَمَنْ صَرَفَ مِنْهَا شَيْئًا لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ فَهُوَ مُشْرِكٌ كَافِرٌ. Whoever directs any worship to other than Allah, he is a polytheist, a disbeliever. That's clear, right? That's the foundation, a fundamental. Based upon ayat, based upon ahadith. That's the foundation of the religion, Tawheed. Deen al-Rusul wal-Anbiya jami'an. The religion of all of the prophets. That's Islam. In the deen inda Allah is Islam. The only religion accepted by Allah is Islam. Tawheed. Worshipping Allah alone and shunning all forms of shirk. If, for example, a Quburi, Sufi, a grave worshipper comes to you and they bring a doubt, they bring, for example, a verse, you do not know the meaning. They bring a hadith, you've never heard that hadith before. You have foundations. Even if you don't know the specific argument, you say the asl, which is thabit, la yataghayyar wa la yatabaddal, it never changes. Ibadah, worship is the sole right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Khalas, intayna. Based upon the saying of Allah and the saying of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As for what you're mentioning right now, maybe I don't understand it. But I'm certain there will be a response for it, mufassalan, and I will find it and I will come back to you. Easy. That's why one person, Ikhwan, the common person upon Tawheed and Aqidah Sahiha, he will overcome the scholars of the people of misguidance. Because you have foundations that cannot be shaken. أَصْلُهَا ثَابِتٌ وَفَرْعُهَا فِي السَّمَاءِ. The foundation is firm and the branches, they stretch to the sky. That tree, you can't shake it. Tornado comes, the roots are deep, it's still standing. The one, he doesn't have a solid foundation, it starts to rain, khalas, he melts like ice. Allah grant us all firmness. يَا مُقَلِّبُ الْقُلُوبِ ثَبِّتْ قُلُوبَنَا عَلَى دِينِكَ. Now, khalas, Ikhwan, I hope that was sufficient. اختصارا, as a concise summary. وجزاكم الله خيرا وسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.